I just finished working with a bridal client, and it kind of came to me that maybe some people would be interested in maybe just a few tips and tricks that I use when it comes to bridal makeup clients. Now, some of these tips might be things that you really could use if you're going to a special event or a date night or anything, but I just figured specifically bridal because I'm making her face chart, and this might surprise some of you, but when you see this bride in particular that I just worked with, she wanted a very natural look. But as you can see from my notes that I write down after I work with the bride, there's a lot that goes into a very natural look. These are all of the steps and products that I used on this one bride. But that's the thing about bridal makeup, is it is a little bit more involved than everyday makeup, but that's because you want it to stay for a long time, and you also want their faces and their features to show up on camera, such as like what I'm talking right now. So that's what today's video is gonna be about. Long story short, just a couple little tips that I use for bridal makeup that maybe you could use in your everyday life that might be something a little different than what you're currently doing. So let's jump into this right now. One trick for bridal makeup that is maybe something that you're not already doing is when it comes to the eyes, you really want your eyes to pop. A lot of people cry on their wedding day. Maybe if it's an outdoor wedding, people's eyes get red and irritated. So one way to combat that is to take just a nude or a white colored eyeliner pencil, such as these Essence pencils that I buy all the time. And you just take that nude pencil and you just line that inner water line of the eye, meaning the lower part of the eye. You just line that entire inner water line to get rid of any natural redness or pinkness that shows up in the eye, and it will immediately make your eyes pop and look bright and wide awake and not look sad like you've been crying or anything. It just takes away that natural redness and makes the whites of the eyes look whiter and makes it looks more cheerful overall. It is a subtle but very effective trick that I use on pretty much anybody. Unless they want a smoky eye, then we're gonna go dark in the waterline. But overall, if someone wants a real natural look, but to make their eyes pop, just rub that little nude eyeliner right there in the waterline, and it really does kind of perk up the eyes. Oh, and as always, curl your eyelashes. That opens up the eyes too. So I curl everyone's eyelashes all the time, and especially if they don't want to wear false eyelashes, you definitely got to curl those eyelashes at 3 different points to give yourself a nice wide open look. So that's one eye trick that I use for everybody. One other trick that I do, well, it's not really a trick, but step that I do that maybe you don't do in real life is wearing a skin primer before you apply your foundation and your concealers. Primer is going to give your makeup longevity throughout the day. And if you are a bride or someone that is going to a special event that, you know, it needs to last all day, a skin primer is very, very helpful. And so I have quite a few that I use, but skin primers do a plethora of things. It depends on what you want. This one is by Makeup Revolution. This is Fix and Glow. It's an ultra glow primer, so this gives brides that really want that glowy kind of shimmery look. This is what that primer does. And then I have 2 other ones for my oily clients that really want a matte look. I will use this Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pore Banishing Blurring Face Primer on their skin. And then for my more mature, kind of dry skin ladies, I love the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer that has coconut water in it. So there's really kind of 3 different levels of primers that I use depending on what look the bride wants to go for, because everybody has different needs when it comes to what they want their skin look like. But all 3 of these work really well under foundations and concealers, but they all serve different purposes. But the main purpose you want to wear a primer if you are a bride is because it's going to help make your foundation and your concealer last all day long. One other thing, in terms of longevity for a bride, a face setting powder is actually very necessary. Even if you have the driest of skin, a little bit of face powder, especially loose face powder, is what I prefer over pressed. The loose particles just seem to get in everywhere and really lock in the foundation and concealer. So my 2 favorites, of course, are the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. Y'all know I can't stop talking about this. It's one of the best on the market. It comes in translucent. It also comes in a darker shade if you need it. And then I love the RCMA Original No Color Powder. This is kind of one of those inexpensive face powders that not a lot of people know about unless you're in makeup artistry or theater makeup and that sort of thing. But RCMA has been around a long time, and this is just a great no color powder that just really mattes out the face and helps keep your cream products to stay longer. So I will dust those on with a trusty little brush. Where is my favorite one? Oh, my setting powder brush that y'all know I love, the Real Techniques. I will just take this powder, take a little bit of it, and I'll just dust it, especially in the center of the face where you usually tend to get shiny and that sort of thing. I will dust it all right here in the T-zone underneath the eyes, just to give that skin a nice blurred effect. So I would definitely say use a setting powder if you're not already using one. And then lastly, a setting spray is also very, very key for a bridal client or someone that needs their makeup to last all day long. A setting spray is basically hairspray for your makeup. And so it's not something that I would suggest someone wear every day, especially if you have more sensitive skin. This is really just for special occasions. But my two favorites right now are the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So the reason I love this is because it actually, I'll give you a little example. It is literally like an aerosol mist. It feels amazing. It is a very fine mist. It's not jarring when it hits your face, but it feels great, smells great, and it locks in your makeup long term. But then I also love the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. It also is wonderful. Now it is more of a pump type situation, but it's a very fine mist. One of the big keys with setting sprays, why I like them, is how they distribute onto the face. So like you saw, continuous mist, and then this one is also really fine. It feels good on the face, not jarring, but it will lock and load, and it cools down the temperature of your makeup, which makes it stay longer on your face. So that is very, very necessary for wedding day makeup day of. All right, so that is my quick bridal tip video of the day. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some value in it. Even if you aren't getting married, you can probably use some of these products and tips in your everyday makeup routine just to make them last longer or to make your eyes nice and bright. And that is really it. So make sure you like this video if you haven't already given it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to Jenny Sue Makeup here on YouTube. I would love to have you here. And all of these products that I talked about, of course, I will leave them in the description below this video if you're interested in actually taking a look at them and how much they cost and everything. I will link those below. And all right, until next time, I gotta finish writing out my face chart and then I gotta go eat some lunch. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.